Something wrong with your car?
No, just getting it oil changed and all that stuff before we go cross country. All right, I'm gonna go on. Be right back.
Is John here too? I can't tell who's here. It's just
Not
the
yet.
two of us.
Just the two of us.
Cool. Did you see my message about the SVG thing? Do you have any idea about like which way seems more reasonable to you?
I think SVG, the way you were describing it, John, made the most sense.
Okay.
Especially because you already have those assets on the front end, like already encoded
Yep.
that way. Whereas I think getting it back in like the raw format,
Wow.
you'd have to, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what drove me to the SVG as well. I just started running into lots of weird. It's like when you crop the SVG in the view box, the whole box is like still this big, but the SVG is like just this much of it. So I don't know how to collapse the rest of that box.
Yeah, there's probably there might be some internal like SVG thing that says like object position or object, just some way to like anchor it to a certain side. Otherwise, maybe you could just do that in CSS and like do an overflow hidden.
Overflow hidden. Okay.
Basically, just have the SVG like a div around the SVG that's basically a crop.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because it's strange because the outside containers are like the right size, and then it's just like overflowing that container. So
I mean, yeah, maybe even just an overflow hidden on the SVG might work then.
yeah, I think I didn't try that. I might try that and see if that solves it, because I was messing around with a bunch of like SVG internal stuff and just like building the object, trying to like change the view box, change the width height, a bunch of params and stuff, and see if it works. I accelerated too hard.
Calm down. You're a maniac.
I know, getting onto a freeway, sketchy business.
You're muted, Kristen.
Oh, I'm muted. Oh,
not you.
I love when CJ's driving. I don't know why. Like the view is just so wild. Like you're like in the car or something. It also feels like risky. Like you're like, oh my God, he's driving and on the phone at the same or on the video chat. But
yeah. The best part is like,
I
don't actually have to look at it.
Yeah.
It's just like generally there, and you're like, okay, it's okay. Like at a stoplight, I can look down. You're like, hi.
It's like being a speedometer from my vantage point.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the overflow thing, I can help on that. I've done a lot of overflowings, so if we need to poke at that stuff.
Okay, then I might just like branch the build and just like shove a new branch up there and just like totally break it with all the like SVG crap, like at least built in to start, and then can fix it because it's like relatively easy to put in there.
Yeah, the basic functionality is in place. I can probably, because I'm going to probably start doing passes on like little style stuff or whatever, that sort of counts, I guess. And if it ends up being fancier than that, then we can restructure or do whatever we need to.
Sounds good.
Cool. How's everybody doing?
It's been one of those days.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
There's a lot going on.
I think we're gonna. Is this thing choking already?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Was it the internet?
Yeah. I mean, we're all in the same place, but it's been mostly good.
Yeah.
It's been bad all day today.
Yeah. Maybe our Ring cameras are all.
Yeah, what my download speed right now is like pushing 20.
Oh, geez.
25.
That's not good.
Is everybody's computer updating to the like new Apple stuff? We're choking it out.
Maybe Iris is like secretly like a crazy hacker. She's just like pulling down
Torrenting.
crazy bandwidth. Yeah. Like
Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we could trade
see
off
how it goes.
who's dark.
True. Where are we at? What's up? I'm kind of zombied out a little from our game sesh. So it'll take a little warming up here, I think. We'll be good once we get into it. So we're basically just going over where we're at and what we need to hit and like
so.
scoping and okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leave
And
them
like
up.
just generally what like a pulse check. I don't like a check on how people
Nice.
are feeling.
See if we're all alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering if at some point we just open up the Google Docs and sort of
Yeah.
have somebody like share the screen and kind of go through
Yeah,
that. Keep everybody in sync.
that
Yep.
feels like a good point, I think.
Let's see. Where'd you put that thing? Oh, here it is.
It's in core chat. I just relinked to it at the bottom.
Cool.
Cool. It's a really graceful way that Discord does that. It's a really long
Yeah.
URL. You're like, what is this?
All right. Yeah. Just start in contracts and sort of work our way through, or
Yeah. See what else comes up, jot it down.
go.
All right. Ooh, anonymous dragon. That's cool. Dragon, dinosaur, beaver.
A rhino.
I'm the rhino, maybe.
You're the rhino. No.
I'm the rhino now.
Okay. So,
It seems like the game is pretty fun. Oh, sorry.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. No.
I was just
I
thinking
think you're-
like it is pretty fun to draw things.
It's like crazy fun. I don't know why.
I mean, there is the storytelling part of it that I really like. I mean, it's just you're creating your own lore, and then you get these dead spots in the map, and you're like, oh, somebody fill that in, and what are you going to do with it? So there's like a tension in play. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody's getting to see the thing be revealed together. So there is
Yeah.
like there is an entertainment aspect to it that I really enjoy. And we're only just goofing around, and then somebody else like John Palmer shows up and like draws a bad butterfly and everything is great. So yeah, it's somebody outside the circle who hasn't been talking, and so that's the first of that little, you know, it's nice. Then Tyler's asking for coins, like he wants to get in. So like all of the little things are starting to sort of hum along, which I think is a good sign. I've never done one of these, so
No, yeah.
yeah.
That's
by all
funny.
means.
Even one of Chiaki's lab mates is like, can I get a coin, please?
That means that
get a
we have created a
coin?
valuable coin.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck
We've-
this guy. Right?
We've made a money.
Who did the like dancing gator thing? I don't know what to call it. The
Oh
idea of
yeah,
the
I don't know.
flag.
Oh, I think that's
I just-
CJ.
That's you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that
Nice.
earlier today because, well, honestly, it was initially just because I needed it for testing, and then I accidentally drew two eyes, and then I just like spammed green all over the board, and then I just filled it in, and that's what came out.
It's
I mean,
great.
the gator has like really nice
dancing.
cams. It's like really nice
Really nice
pegs.
calves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a meaty, like it's got dancer's legs and a weird
Yes.
tail. What the hell is the tail? It's a
That's
nightmare.
been like a fun part of the pixel art thing is like you'll mess up and then it gives you an idea for something.
Yep.
Yep.
So like I don't know, just you feel like you can do cooler stuff or funnier stuff.
Because everything is an abomination. That's the rules. Go with the abomination.
And I will say the minimap is so helpful to see like
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on around here. Like that was a game changer because before you're like, okay, like I know things are around me, and then now like you can really, like I was like, oh yeah, I'm next to the flag. Let me like draw some arms.
Yep. Yeah, I was curious about that because my instinct was like to jump in and out of the map, like because you know you do this kind of when you're like drawing stuff or like there's even a version of this thing that's like onion skinning too, where you can pass something and then it like animate the next frame. There might be a Conway's Game of Life thing for that, like keeping it alive somehow, because then it could move around or something, the board. But anyways, yeah, so these, I like the you're collaborating with somebody else's thing, like right there in front of you. It feels nice, whatever that mechanic is. So, but yeah.
We've got like a really solid, sorry, like a
No, go
landscape
ahead.
row at the bottom between John
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like starting off the Ghost on the Hill and then Scott, then Kristen. And then that ties up to Dave's, and then I'm screwing it up below.
Nope. That's part of
Somebody
what
will
happened.
work out of that.
We can try to turn it into something pure and
Yeah, who's 4474 and X4 Y3? Who did I give that
Is that
to?
our wallet?
Tyler?
One of them might be the
Or
wallet
maybe
because I'm using
Shahruz? Yeah.
I'm using something on the. It must be like X1 Y. Yeah, X1 Y3. I think is the shared wallet because I'm using it for testing, like like the peak functionality because it has a lot of squares around it.
So
X1,
AO4C is the group wallet then.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh yeah, that's X1 or Y2. Yeah, so I'm trying to think about a little bit on the design side of things. I guess it's moving over here. So we have those, each of these states. I think I just need to sort of riff on it. Like, is there any behaviors like on the canvas that we're missing? I guess this is the one place that it like we have the different states of tiles that we need to express, or they're being expressed now. I think I can do a little like making these a little meatier and like clearer potentially. I'm not sure what that'll be yet, but Kristen mapped out some of the states and we can go through that, I guess. We had talked about like, you know, doing a bunch of other functionality. I don't think it's missing anything particularly. I mean, people seem to be having fun generally with this. Then Discord can be the place that you talk about it. So
Yeah. I think the functional or the UI stuff that's missing is just making things more obvious. Like one of the things, big one is when it moves from when you go and redeem your coin, your token coin, having it be obvious which tile is yours. Like Dave, you had the idea of like a bunch of arrows or just something where you're like, that's mine. Like there's like a feeling. Because right now it's really like subtle.
A sheen state, which is basically like I can animate something that's like a glow. We'll probably do this to the coin too, you know, that's like light passing over it in a loop. So it's just it'll be obvious that that's the one, or a glow or something like this. That's fine, I think. Another thing on the canvas, which may be added, I mean, I'm just sort of running around stuff, like starting, like having some bound so it's not up in the top left necessarily, so that we were moving it in, and then the XY.
The question on, so God is generating seed invite coins. What's the process for determining? Like right now, like we're starting with God decide, so we decide, but where is that? Like how, like just making that decision. We probably don't need a whole process right now, but eventually that can be programmed in, or we could do it now.
I mean, we could randomly place them and then generate them that way.
I mean, random.org, X and Y coordinates.
I mean, we could also just do them equidistant in like a square or something, and that's fine too. I don't know. So maybe like what do we want to, let's just decide on the outer constraint of tiles. Like how many people should be playing this thing? First round, I guess.
Wasn't there like a 32 by 32, or that was Ixnay?
In terms of tiles, yes, but 32 by 32 gives us 1024 tiles, and we were throwing around the soft limit of 512 unique tiles per board. I don't think that had anything to do with identities though. So some of those will be the same people.
Yeah.
So it's at most 512 people, but probably less.
Yeah. And then do we want to put a limit on the number of tiles that one person can do
That's a good
per
question.
map? My instinct there, like I wanted to do a couple, and it's very fun to continue to play or whatever.
Yeah.
But are we prizing? Yeah.
Feels like maybe adjacent tiles should be discouraged, but like back and forth, like volleying, it could lead to some really interesting behaviors emerging.
Yeah, I think you like, can we build in so you can't invite yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be like
We
a
already
line.
have that.
Minimum.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody else will have to generate a coin for you.
So would that be
If
in
that's
contracts? Where should we note that one? Can't invite yourself.
Prevent
I think
coin
that's already
generator
in
from
there, isn't
spending it. I
Well,
don't think we have the protection for that.
Yeah.
And I
okay.
thought that's what the preventing coin generator from spending a line was about.
We might need to add a little bit to the contract to do that. I'm not sure 100%. Maybe Shahruz. I'm thinking like a mapping in the land grantor or something. I'm not sure exactly how we prevent that. But I think we can add it.
I think in the main contract, we can do a hook on the transfer from so that it prevents any transfers to that owner if they have like a neighbor with the same address.
Okay.
So I think that would be on that side, because the land grantor I think should remain like an optional kind of component to it all. So any security stuff should still be in the main one.
Makes sense.
I thought a coin generator was like something else. I didn't think of it as a person for some reason. So that makes sense now.
Yep.
Coin generator person.
I mean, all coin generators are persons somewhere down the line. Yeah. Okay. So the upper limit around 512 or whatever that.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it 512 people or 512 tiles?
tiles.
Tiles.
Yeah, and then so what's that on a side? I can't do that math.
It's a square
On a
root.
side.
Yeah, like so is it going to be a big square, or are we going to do I guess it doesn't matter. Like how it actually shapes out.
Well, we don't have any limitations on how far
Yeah.
your tile can be from any other tiles, apart from it has to be a neighbor, and it has to be, they all have to be neighbors. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Basically,
Right,
I mean,
so-
half the city or half the map would be filled, but it could be any configuration within.
Yeah.
Okay.
It likely won't be a square if we were to take all the individual tiles and just like put them in a
Yeah.
square, because I think the square root is like 22.6 or something like this.
Yeah, I was just doing that too.
Yeah. Not to mention if somebody builds like a bridge,
Yep.
that could skew the whole image off. And I mean, depending on how neat we want the final NFTs to look, I guess this is where that matters. If we want a perfectly nice square one, then you'd want all tiles to be filled in, but then you're like more constricting of where they can be, versus this more open-ended one where I guess we'd have to fill in the background as well somehow with a color.
Yeah, fill it in and like frame it too, like at the end, like I don't know, that's like post-production, but
All right, we could break this into two. This logic may not make any sense, but so you run it out and there's a limit on round one's tiles, and then that gives you a boundary. And then there's a second round where you fill in the rest into a canvas, like you fill up the whole canvas with the same dynamic effectively and a timer.
This is a bit like the outwards expansion and then flip and then inwards.
Yeah.
This does raise the total number to somewhere between 512, like 513 and 1024, I think. I guess if we want to square it, like it could be a smaller square that encompasses the first set, that is still smaller than 32 by 32, or somebody built out to every boundary, in which case it would become the full size.
Yeah, I like that like wherever you land is the outer constraints, and then you have to build in.
Yeah.
This may not be necessary, but it does give us like a canvas that can be like some sort of, it has some bounds that way. There's a niceness to like a tidiness to it, but I don't know that it's, you know.
I think getting so tangentially, I think like getting the mini map in there will help like visualize this stuff a ton. And then the white feels a little strong for empty right now. Like it's a little too loud. I wonder if making the empties, I don't know, like a gray or something will help as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'll play with a couple versions of that and send them over, like, because that'll change the dynamic. So like we could, light and dark thing here.
Yeah, something about it coming from the void, coming from like space feels kind of cool, futuristic, like.
So we could. I'm still stuck with this like 2 rounds of play kind of thing. 2 rounds of play, but similar, the same dynamic. So it's dark, and it's like maybe the empty squares are in darkness to start, and then they're filling in kind of like Zelda and the exploration, old Zelda games or whatever. And then so the 4 seeds are dropped not too far from each other. People move out in the directions that they move out. How are we showing like how viable squares? Like how is it a count, or is it?
That's a good question. Progress bar is an alternative.
Little progress bar somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So progress bar. So that'll go on the canvas. It's sort of counting down effectively. We got to count down to 0. Nobody knows what's happening at 0 because we haven't said anything. So like that gives it a movement. It gives something is happening, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. I think that's the simplest explanation, that something is happening and there is a limit to what can happen. And so maybe there's some, I don't know, we can feel that one out. Either way, we'll get that many squares filled out. So, or that many tiles. It can have a number or not have a number. I mean, that's whatever. Okay, so that gives us our wind down. Like, no idea how fast this thing is going to go, but that gives us a like. And if for whatever reason it stalls out, which I really cannot see how that would happen. So
Yeah.
I think that we can fill up 500 of these things, or 512 or whatever.
It seems
at
like
that
if
point,
anything, it's going to go really fast.
Yeah.
So
it could be like 2 hours. Like once it's public and out there.
And then we know at least.
Yeah.
And then we have this like first round where so the outer constraints on wherever they take the thing. I mean, unless we want to make an upper limit on, but I don't think, I mean, how the fuck do we make up that limit? I don't know what it is. I mean, we can try, but I'm just thinking spatially on trying to get it into some sort of canvas. They run out and then a new mode comes online. We can God mode that timer depending on, or whatever it is, like, it either gets filled or it doesn't need to be a timer. It can be another, like the bounds are now setting a new, like, move to 0 point because there are only so many tiles available in those bounds. And as they get filled in, if they get filled in, the canvas gets filled in and it's done. So anyways, that's where I'm at. That.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to like simulate this, and the thing I'm running into is 512 tiles get filled out, and now we have like potentially 512 tiles to then be filled in before the canvas is totally complete. Yet there's going to be a countdown timer, which like constricts how many of those secondary set of tiles can be filled out. So there's still the potential of like a lot of empty space within the canvas. Nothing here is enforcing like that to be filled.
Yeah.
It's just saying your tiles should be inwardly oriented now. But the question is like, would that amount of time be equal to the amount of time it took to get there? So it's basically saying we're at the halfway mark versus like, because then it makes a bit more sense to me, because like you're sort of saying that the rate of play is going to stay more or less the same. Now there's just this increased
The Lindy
intensity.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like that. That's a natural bound. Like it took you this long to get there. The likelihood that it'll take you any longer than that, like even if the dynamic makes, you found out the dynamic and then you don't get time to think, just go. And this could be a natural point to unlock editing if we wanted to, so that people could sort of scooch around, but they've got a time limit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's too insane.
No, I mean, regardless, I think this enables a more like exploratory outwards progression, whereas like defining a strict square up front, basically like this makes the end ambiguous in some way. It's like, ooh, like I'm here at the edge, but I'm actually not at the edge, and I'm like, turns out I'm not at the boundary, or it turns out I was and I didn't like drew, because it just makes that all like more up in the air, which is nice. And then the timer, I think, gives people like a life of where is this canvas relative to its existence? Like, where are we since the Big Bang, sort of thing.
Yeah, I really like that number shows up, and it's like people can work out that it's from 0 day and now it's going backwards. It's because it's a completely random number, effectively, if you don't tell them what's happening. So, yeah, I don't know. There's also a movement that like feels nice to it. These are all aesthetic things, but those are nice if you can find them. Okay, yeah.
So I think the only thing that's bothering me is the fact that the final canvas might still not be a square. So as long as
I think that's fine.
It's going to be a rectangle at the very least. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't know how wild it actually can get. So like, you drop 4 and then they just go off and one,
Yeah, but
possible.
In that case, you would have something that looks more like a path. But regardless if they're heading in that direction, it's still going to move both X and Y like that.
Yeah.
Because we can't have, anything that's this way includes everything the other way as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could just be like a river.
Yeah, I have no idea what the pattern of spread will be from it's completely. So you may end up with like some big long thing or some, and we may only get back, like you're saying, like I have no idea how to like put bounds on this other than putting like some invisible constraint that they run up against, but then we have to communicate that. So I'd prefer to just let it go with this first one. Yeah. And then see and then maybe for the second one, there's like a clearer boundary condition if we want that to happen at all. It may be that them running off into space is fine. It gives you a potential third round or something like this to work with, if that makes sense. But yeah. Don't know.
Yeah, there's one thing that I'm curious about in terms of just like the 50-50 between empty and like filled initially. Is I just googled like how much of the Earth's surface is covered by water. It's 71%.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's
we talked about that before.
Because there is like this potential where if there are like separate land masses, they can like kind of spread out and then get bigger over time too. Potentially. But
so
just
in other words, yeah, like maybe what happens at the halfway mark is all of the empty tiles get converted to another state from which they might get filled in, but they also make some sense if they stay in that state, which then becomes like this medium in between these connected land masses.
I don't know. We can just see what happens and then like do
Did we-
something on the
wait, did-
fly potentially.
Did we get anywhere with the background color stuff too? Of like the starting tiles? I'm just curious from like I heard void, but I think I was like in and out of the conversation at that point, whether like it was to have like kind of spacey or do something like different.
So I think so right now I like the idea that it's all black to start. I mean,
Okay,
this is
yeah.
or darker, something like this. We were talking about the Zelda kind of thing.
Yeah.
The seeds get dropped. It's very clear when the ones that are filled in, because there's a high contrast there. The other ones fill out. The canvas starts to fill out. There's color in the void or whatever. The counter runs down to 0.
Mhm.
At the 0 point, the canvas bounds are formed. Everything outside the canvas bounds continue to be black. Everything within the canvas bounds are now lighter, maybe. Like they're still populatable, but there's a timer. So either you get them all filled in or you don't. And then whatever's left converts into something else. So like a darkness, then a lightness, and then, I don't know. So that may be overly complex, but it's visually and technically simple, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, the darkness thing is just it gives us a good contrast. I can also mop
I like
these up
darkness.
and we can feel, yeah.
Mm.
We could do a star field. We could do a texture on the thing that is nondescript. We can do a bunch of stuff on that front to make it feel like it's misty. I don't know, who knows.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm coming back in.
Hmm.
I realized I'm gesturing a lot.
I wonder, this is kind of a weird thought on the contract side and maybe like totally unnecessary, but whether every tile starts out as like an already initialized SVG and then from there you're just modifying it. And there's like one modify. Kind of like I just thinking in the sense like instead of rendering it on top of the like UI side of things, is letting the chain do all of the rendering for everything.
I see what you mean. It also, in some way, allows there to be like a procedurally generated placeholder SVG with like a little bit of noise or randomness that every person would start out with, but from a slightly different place, which
Potentially.
could make things interesting.
Yeah, at least that's what got me or like reminded me once Dave said like maybe like stars or something. I was like, oh, like definitely can do that on the UI side and have it be deterministic in terms of like what everyone sees. But like really deterministic on chain also seems like kind of interesting. Just like again, I don't know if this is something that we need to do for the first round or not, or for like the first round we just say like do the easier thing and go from there.
Yeah, this one I'm not feeling, because I think that, yeah, it all depends on it. So this one is an environmental variable. Like, so the canvas comes alive. I don't think we need it, but it's cool. This is where I'm at with that. There might be though, because I think faking that one is fine. I don't know that it adds anything to the lore necessarily in this round. Like, because that's what I'm looking for. Anything that can have like a technical thing that we can do something cool with that bakes into the gameplay. This one feels, and I might be wrong on this, but it feels like glamour. It feels like just visuals. So I think we just do that the easy way then, because yeah, use the cheap paint basically.
Yep.
If we do it on chain too, that means that we're minting all 1024 up front, which is, I mean, it's fine, but then there's less of like you can check the contract to see what the rules are, and there only is ever going to be 512 of them, or there's going to be 512 plus whatever happens in, you know, the second half. There's more of a predictability, whereas if we pre-mint everything, then we can kind of still just do whatever with those.
Right.
Yeah. So for now, I think where I'm at with that is I'll do mock-ups, see what it feels like, or just get in the page and then like start
Change it.
tinkering everything. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the XYs and like how, like I don't have it fully felt out, you know, like I know that we're going to have URLs, and then we were talking about doing that so that we could go to different parts of the map, if that still stands. And then like, so there has been an aspect of this that is coordination based in Discord, where knowing the address of the thing, like who has what, right? And I consistently mix this up. Like I have to like trace it, and like it's interesting that way. I think this is the reason they do the 3-word stuff or whatever. I don't know how we add that in, or if we need to. I don't think we put it at the bottom of the list. I think it's still fine to do that. But so some address visual thing, it does work with the XYs. So I think we're fine. That ties into the coins. Putting the XY on the coin, having it, you know, like maybe we put it in brackets and it's more of a matrix thing or something like that.
Well, this is where if you make it obvious after you redeem, like put the coin in the machine, where where it is, like if it moves to that place like on the board, because once the board gets big enough, or like it zooms all the way out and like yours is like flashing or something, you don't have to do the name thing.
Yeah, so that part is fine on the individual user's case. Like you get a coin, it drops you exactly to where your neighborhood is. You have a mini map once you get into the tile editor. You'll be able to operate within that.
Yeah, this is a different perspective then.
Yeah, I think we have that one solved pretty well. That's the most important flow, I think, for creation. I think our creation flow is good. Now it's coordination. And you're using the map to talk to other people. And so we have been doing this. I've been watching this. Do you have a coin for who has the coin for blah, blah, blah? Yeah. Like, what are you going to do here? Like, you know, what's happening? You're 5'2" or whatever it is. Like 5'2", what are you up to? Like this kind of thing. And if you have like 100 people in there, like I'm just thinking of the designation part of this, plus looking at the map and looking back.
And like eventually, like long term, like for a product, it might be, I don't know if this is overkill, but it, for whatever reason, just jumping to like super high fidelity. Would this be solved if you could chat in the app so you can see your neighbor and just like message them? Okay. So we're trying to like
we talked about
that.
Sort of we don't need to build all that in yet. Like, you know, I did some mock-ups on that stuff with the like, you know, avatar plus bubble, and like, you know, we talked about having like a right-hand column with like the things getting filled in, and you could leave comments. There's all kinds of stuff we can do with this. But
one thing that we don't have right now that I know of is an ability to send like a URL to a tile. Do we?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Because that might be helpful too. Like for this, it's like it might drop you into that tile, and then like you can like see the full tile, and then you can X out, and it just shows you the like surrounding canvas, like neighborhood.
Yeah. So you're saying a viewer?
Yeah, because like I always want to go back in and look at my tile after it's done, just my one tile. Yeah. Like I keep trying to do it, and like it doesn't work. Okay. But so you could also share this with people too. Like, hey, I just completed mine. And then if there was like a nav aspect to it too, where when if it's a URL, it just pulls you to that place. It's like I don't know if that's a state. I don't know. Yeah.
We've got a couple. So like before, it used to be that any tile you clicked on, it would pull up in the editor immediately. And then when we shipped like some of these updates with the coin generation stuff and like just a little bit of the UI hinting, I I disabled some of the click events because it would pull up in like an empty editor when your tile was already filled. So that was just throwing me off at least. So there's empty modals in there now that we can program in with like, here's a full tile preview for something that's already been made.
Yeah.
And then I think for the URL stuff, we can just map, essentially like look at the URL. If it includes an XY coordinate, just yank open that modal by default on page load.
Cool.
Yep.
Would
Yeah,
also
the
be
viewer
worth
then.
positioning the canvas behind the modal too, so that when they exit out of it, they're basically centered over the tile.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's good. That gives you, like, if we want to do the info panel, like everywhere you open up the tile, you can get to like extended information, like we talked about doing that flip or whatever it is. This gives you like a full like metadata download place if we need it. So we can pack anything we need into there. And then that could also be I don't know if that's, because the other thing I was thinking about is, I don't know what we're going to do on mobile and all this stuff. Or if it's going to live on mobile right now, because we're getting crowded.
I think it can. I mean,
yeah,
it's probably just like the viewers that might be a little tricky, but it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, the editor works great.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a little bit of like, just a little bit of like nav design stuff for the smaller viewports.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. It's a weakness of mine, so like we can figure out how to cram it in there. Okay. Yeah. So the metadata info, whatever. Like I think we get the modals working. We see what that feels like, and then we go from there. Basically, the XY stuff. I'll play around with some like visualizations on that, like, because it's still nice to call it out, you know, to have like a signal. Like, I mean, you could also do the one to the right of the naked guy. That also works fine. So, and people can screen grab and point, and, you know, we can see what kind of behaviors come out of that. Yeah.
That works.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, I'm thinking about I'd like to see the modal thing. It is nice to be able to like click around the board and go into the thing, like figuring out whatever that behavior it is, you know, like, so yeah, let's see.
So like on the modal, it's using the same React modal that we've had. So the editor, the drop coin thing, they're all using the same like generic modal interface, but we can customize what the backdrop looks like. We can customize what the inner frame on the modal looks like. At some point, depending on time, we can also maybe look at like popping framer or something in there so that we can do cool transitions and zoom ins and outs and stuff.
Yeah, if you get that structure in place, I'll go fiddle with it all day long and get all kinds of things.
I think we can get it in place. It's probably comes after like figuring out the zoom and the mini map and some of the gesture stuff. But
yeah, just getting keyframes for now is what we're doing. It can, and if we can grease it up with, you know, things moving around, all the better. So cool. Yeah, the one place that we'll probably do a little animation, but I can probably do that without any like fanciness, like with CSS or whatever, is whatever we're gonna have for the like coin drop. Like I don't know what that. I have like a kind of thing that it might be an arcade machine thing. That like has a drawing interface on the screen, and then like the belly of it, you just put a coin in that. But I don't know. I don't want to do the can. I'd like to do something else that's more game centric. But yeah, if you see anything
sounds?
No, go ahead.
Sounds for that?
Yeah, probably. I think that'd be great.
Be cool.
Cool. I've got every possible like stock library right now for Chatter City stuff, so I can share logins and we can get some good stuff from there.
Yeah, that'd be good. I was even thinking of like poking Beamer if he wanted to do like a startup sound or something like that. It's like the Brian Eno thing. I think Brian Eno had to do the like get it down to
Windows
1 second
95.
or whatever. Exactly. So he can be our Brian Eno.
Ooh,
great.
This just throwing a random thing out for the coin thing. I was just thinking about Toy Story. I think there's the like little rocket ship like thing that you can like jump on as a kid, and like it goes
Mm.
back and forth, like plop it in, and now you're on this rocket ship that like I don't know. The startup sound plus that kind of just made me laugh.
Yeah, I think it's because I was going through like like what are the things that you put coins in. I couldn't get from rocket ship or like, you know, weird dinosaur riding thing to
Yeah.
why is there a tile?
Yeah,
And you don't
fair enough.
necessarily need it. This is why I was thinking about the screen could be the equivalent, like, you know, or it prints out a thing. Like I'm thinking ahead,
Yeah.
obviously, to animation.
Mhm.
Because like you could make a keyframe from put the coin in, something happens, and then it becomes your tile.
Yeah, like
But
you put a thing into a vending machine and you got a tile back, and then you put that tile on the canvas and like it clicks
exactly
in.
that, yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So
This is
the
the thing
closest I
that
think is
Flying
the
Croissant was talking about.
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, the
The
penny
penny
smasher or
transfer,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the like we can create like a sort of kind of arcade thing, and you put it in, and then the screen lights up because it's redeemable or whatever. You click that. You're on a screen. It's fine. It's close
Yeah.
enough.
Yep.
Mm.
All
So, I
pixel
don't know.
text. Yeah.
So I don't know if I can draw any of this. So we'll find out. It may just be a bunch
Well,
of boxes, and you kind of have to use your imagination.
that's
Yeah.
fair. That's pixel interface for you.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. But if you have any, I mean, it may be the rocket because that's what we can draw. So
No,
we'll see how it
I
goes.
see what you're saying. I like the whole like end-to-end flow thing. I wasn't really considering like tying all the pieces together, so it's like very natural for the user to understand like what just happened, as opposed to just like random thing.
Mhm.
Hey, another random
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Right? It's like
Which you can
the
do every once in a while. Sometimes
storytelling.
yeah, it's a delivery mechanism for like getting them in the world.
Right.
But sometimes we don't know what to do, so we just put whatever the fuck on there, and that's fine. Like, why is there a dinosaur here? Because I didn't know what else to put. Like in like the last big app that I did like this, I had no idea what to do for like a loading animation or whatever, and so I just made a bunch of effects, and there's like an alien we drew, and it's like flying around, and then it just once it's loaded, it just zooms in, and now you're there. That's what happened. Why? I don't know,
Wonderful.
because that's what happened.
Because it's fun. That's why.
Exactly. So that's the fun. If you can land it in universe and it makes sense and it helps explain it, that's step one. Step two is make it not boring. Make it fun. Like do whatever you got. So
Makes sense.
that's my fallback condition on these things. Okay, so yeah, like loader thing, whatever. We'll have those states. X, Y's, those are my questions. The canvas, we've got a bunch of stuff there. What else is in the doc? I've just started rambling. Peak we talked about.
There's a
You're
link.
basically
We figured out the starting thing, like where the seeds start, or no? We could
we
just
can
use
nail
that.
down the exact math there.
We can just leave that though. Like that's something we
Yeah, I
have
mean,
to figure out.
Yeah, at the very least, we can just say random.org, give us XY coordinates, or place an equidistant from each other. But no code changes required for either.
Okay. Yeah, I think that decision, it'll be easy enough. Like, I mean,
Yep.
we'll get the canvas styled a little bit more, maybe get some navigation stuff in there, and then have a feel for what the space we're working with is a little bit better. Brush size. Are we still doing that?
What is the brush size? I haven't played with that yet. I don't have a.
Doesn't work.
Oh.
Basically,
Then
you bump it up from
get rid of
1 by
it.
1 to 2 by 2 to 3 by 3 on the brush itself. My gut says it's not as critical with the bucket functionality working
Paint bucket,
because
Yep.
either
Agreed.
way, like most brush strokes are either lines or curves, and so if you want a 2 by 2, you just kind of draw another one. Like in terms of just attention on code, like it feels like that is a nice to have, but not a need to have.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
We can drop it.
I agree. If we can drop it, it also probably will simplify. It's probably not like, at least like, I don't know a trivial way to go about it. I'm sure it's not that difficult, but it'll be some algorithm to figure it out.
I think we're good on it. The thing plays right now, and if people have a tension where they want more tools, that's a good thing. That means that we have something else to do. They can give us an Ethereum each, and then we'll make them a good square figure guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, all the save drawing immediately stuff, like any of the affordances there, like are a strong thumbs up from me. Anything we do to hold on to it, so that any of the like art loss failure states are like taken care of. Because yeah, right now it does feel like, especially like I feel like, and it maybe it's just because every time we refresh, it like dumps you out of the wallet. And like that, like did it?
Oh yeah, that's in
is
here
it
too.
There, yeah.
Yep, totally.
So wallet staying connected would give you one layer of security. Like, okay, I'm always in here. This is always my interface. And then, yeah, figuring out the save. Like, I think Kristen and I talked a little bit about like, you know, like trying to get across what's happening on that save, especially if you've never done it before. Like maybe even a prompt or something like, "Are you sure?" Because like once you do this, which gives them the idea that once you do this, it's baked in. I don't know. Clever.
Conrad asked, he's like, "What happens when I save?" I was like, "Very good question." I was like, "Don't do that unless you're ready to be done." He's like, "Okay, good to know."
Yeah. I wonder if it's worth also saying in there, well, actually, I guess this is contingent on whether we get gasless transactions in, but in the current flow, like, hey, expect to see a pop-up in MetaMask or your browser or your wallet of choice. But this may be a good time to talk about whether we want to get gasless in for season 0.
I think it's like a requirement almost, because otherwise people need to get Matic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Then that flow gets simpler. There will be save will be like less. I mean, there will be some messaging about it, but at that point they hit it and then it's off, and they have no more to do. So that's nice.
Okay, so
kind of part of this is adding in in Zustand, probably adding in transaction history state, so that if we wanted to do like a pending kind of tray or a tray of history, so that you could dismiss the modal, should be pretty straightforward. It's just like a array of transaction hashes in Zustand.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to rejigger this top bar around a bunch. Got a bunch of little things popping up.
I was also thinking
we'll just cram them all in there.
On the top bar, is it interesting to have it disappear as you're sort of scrolling up? I had that happen to a site today, and I was like, oh yeah, this might, like, if you're in landscape, it saves like 10% of the space. Portrait doesn't matter as much.
Yeah,
but could get a little
some behavior there where it can like pop out, and then like, you know, it could be that like once you move it, it disappears, and then you've got some hoverable or tappable button in the top left or something like that that pops it open again. If we want to really get clever, we can start doing sensing and stuff on like direction, but we don't need to do any of that right now. So as long as you can get back to it easy, I think we're good. Because you don't need to see have a coin button, all that stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah, this is also, we talked about like a landing page, and like, you know, whether or not we're going to keep the canvas as the landing page for now versus adding something else. We need a, you know, the about button, which is probably going to have the rules. And then I was thinking about credits and stuff, but I think we can roll those at the end of the gameplay. Something like that. That's so that you don't, it doesn't have to affect the story up front. It's more like a movie this way.
Cute.
Yeah,
We got to throw in like a ASCII art thing in the contract header too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Before going to mainnet.
Yeah.
Seems to be a tradition.
got to figure out something for that. Okay. I'm sure there's something we can borrow.
What about when people are asked to connect to wallet for redeeming
coins?
an invite token? Yeah, because right now you can get all the way into like your coin is valid, and then you might get bopped, and then you like
Yeah.
you're not signed in, and you have to start again, which is fine. But is there a thing where like you should up front when you go to exquisite land if you want to play? Like I don't know. Yeah.
We can, I mean, so right now the reason it pops you back out to the like wherever you were before without saving your state is just because it's the lazy kind of thing that we did so far.
Sure.
But we could have those things always be like, you know, picking up where you left off, or like just adding those connect wallet buttons like a little bit deeper in the flow. If we don't want it at the front, but it could basically be anywhere based on the design, because the React components make it really easy to move around.
All right. Yeah. So then it's like choreography, basically. So
There's a couple scenarios. You've already redeemed your coin, you've got your plot, but you haven't edited your tile yet, or you're going to redeem your coin, right?
yeah. So if you have we could do it that way. You have a valid coin. You don't have your wallet connected. You pop it in. It's like you know, you got your thing, and then it could be connect your wallet to start playing. You know, at that point.
Yep.
We're assuming that they have a wallet, and we're not
Yeah,
going to
how
push
does
them.
this
I mean,
change with the burner wallet?
Are we doing burner
Are we doing
wallet?
that?
Well, I kind of figured yes because of gasless transactions, but I'm not sure if that's a requirement then.
Those two things can be mutually exclusive. So gasless, basically, it would work kind of like it works, or exactly like it works on the internet camera stuff, where it prompts you for a signature, you sign the transaction, and then it runs that transaction for you behind the scenes. But since it's on a browser, it would just be happening through like your MetaMask, or if you do wallet connect through whatever your wallet is.
Okay, so in that case, we would still have the MetaMask pop up after save. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't require Matic as much as just clicking authorize or whatever, sign.
And you'd never have to switch networks either. So you can stay on Ethereum, so we don't have to teach people.
Perfect.
Like,
yeah, that save state, we're going to need to do some hammering on a little bit. It's like not super clear. We could just even do a joke. Just hit save and hit the next thing. It'll be fine. You're all right. Don't think. Just go, 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 go. Just have that yelling in the background. Okay. Yeah, so basically they drop the coin. The case there is that they don't have a wallet. They don't know what a wallet is.
Yeah.
They're SOL right now. We don't have that state.
We
might be able to, go ahead.
Like maybe we could just say, if you don't know what this is, talk to the person that gave you the coin. Right?
Yeah.
Like
give the coin to somebody who does.
Yes. Message.
So this is where
see what happens.
one of the things also we want to drive traffic to the Discord in a lot of different places. So like if you get an invalid coin, or the coin or an error or the coin has already been taken, or you're just on the board and you don't know there's a Discord there, like so all of these are scenarios. Just come hang out in the Discord, and like in the Discord you can come and be like, I've got a coin, I don't know what a wallet is. And someone will come help you.
Totally.
I think we probably won't run into that one too much early days if we're spreading these things around to people who know what they're doing. So, but yeah, having a catcher, I think that there's a couple catchers there. There's the or redirectors. The case that you have a coin that's been used, and then be like, your coin has been used, but what you win instead is Discord. So something like that, where go to Discord, and then this is where new coins might be exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
see what's happening, or like figure out what next.
yeah.
Um,
So that's one funnel or whatever. I don't like funnel, but redirect. Another one is after you save your drawing, like, great, now you're a part of the world or whatever it
interesting.
is.
Okay.
Like, go check
Mhm.
out all the rest of the coin holders in Discord. You now have an invite or whatever it is, or like with this
Mhm.
token, you can.
Oh yeah,
Who
because we
knows,
were
whatever.
doing that with the token
Yeah.
gating.
Um,
Not the
Yeah,
whole
I have
How
that
that
thing,
almost
right?
done.
cool.
Is the
Nice.
whole thing token gated? Remind me.
Just
or
channels,
not?
just specific channels within. So we can
Cool.
have like the main doors open, but then have specific doors inside that are walled off, token gated.
Yeah. So that is the, like, I think, best presentation layer for that thing. I don't know where else to put it, but I think we get it in the page there. And then I don't
Yeah.
know where else we could just have a general Discord kind of thing on the page somewhere. This is where, like,
Maybe
having
that's the about. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Or yeah.
Yep. Twitter link.
Twitter link.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I mean, we're basically just need to scaffold in the structure here, and then we can start writing lore or doing graphics around all of this stuff to like make it feel more like a whole experience.
An experience.
But
Oh,
lo-fi.
He just ignores me.
The experience.
Yeah.
ambiance.
French.
Only
Funny, 'cause you
experience
like-
if it comes from a region.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Experience.
I think you
Portugal.
already have on your notes I'm looking at this, the invite process, getting like the UI flow there a little bit more seamless. Like when the tiles open up, like a big invite button or something like that you were talking about. I think
Yeah.
yeah.
So right
So
now
that's
we have
one
the
of-
state in place. It's yellow. I think making those. Yeah, so I'm curious about how all that looks and stuff, and then what it's like when you got other people around. Like we have the first, so you save your tile, the available tiles next to you pop open with like an invite link or something like this, or like a coin appears or something like this, right? And then you click it and you get the coin for that, or it generates. So right now we have it, you press the tile and then what happens there? Like,
You click the tile, you can invite someone. I think this is the flow. You click it and then it says invite someone to 5-2.
yeah,
And then you click generate coin.
So here we do have the option of also putting in an input for like an address or an ENS as an option. But because what happens is that generate coin just sends it off to a contract address that we've hard coded, which is our land grantor.
yeah.
But if we wanted to add in that layer that's just like, no, I know who I want to send this to, I just want to send it direct, skip the coin, that's something that we could surface.
Mm. I wonder.
What are the, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I guess one thing that could go wrong here is just somebody mistyping, somebody like accidentally sending it to places. It feels like the coin as image is very bulletproof in the sense that it's like
I do like that, yeah.
it's very simple. I definitely like the idea of like being able to send directly to wallets, but I wonder if first round just having like tiles go missing and stuff might add confusion to people. Not due to any technical thing, but just people not realizing somebody's ENS name wasn't like linked correctly, or just like they need to go, and it just like adds some friction. But yeah, maybe there's like a hidden option. Maybe it's like save first, but if you're sure, then you can put in an address.
The coin thing is kind of fun too, because it's
I like it, yeah.
clunky in a way, but like in a, I don't know.
Yeah,
Charming
It feels
way.
like a weight
Yeah.
has weight.
like it's special. Like I'm like handing this thing off to you. People are like, what does it do? How does it do it? And you're like, Try it.
Just read the coin. Go there. Do that.
Yeah,
this-
at one point, Dave and I were talking about this, and I was like, well, how do they know like where to go? And he said, it says it on the coin. And I was like, oh yeah, there you go. It literally says it on the coin.
Yep.
On one question that I had about this on the coin flow that I just realized is, if I knew the API endpoint, can I just generate a coin for anyone? Like, are we checking?
So right now there's some checks in there for a signature that you can pass up, but I've commented those out so that we can just generate them
Got
easily
it.
ourselves. But what it should
Okay.
require is a signature from the, whoever's the neighbor there that is eligible for
Okay,
sending that invite.
cool. Yeah, just kind of wanted to make sure that makes sense to me.
Okay, so yeah, the basic flow that we have now. The question is like when you what the actual thing is like in the tile. I'm picturing it right now. So right now we just have, it's effectively an invite button. Like that's what I'm seeing in my head, or something like that. The call to action on the tile when it's available, like what your click, and then there's a coin that you can give away. That's where the coins come from. People will figure this out. It's fine. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder.
Go ahead, CJ.
I was just kind of curious, like whether, like, when you are able now to invite, whether those coins get like generated for you automatically rather than having to go through the flow, and it just like displays it on the tile or something, and you can just save it directly and send it to someone. But it,
So
or
it's
like
always
if
there?
it gives you instructions and flips the tile or something.
That's cool.
So
Wait, so
it's
you mean-
convenient, but then it also forces the tiles to be generated in every possible way. So we wouldn't have empties anymore. So people could no
'Cause
longer
it calls
choose,
to you. Yeah.
because we would pre-generate at that point. It's tricky. I mean, we could do a
Yeah.
fake coin. We could show a coin there, have them go through a flow still to generate a real one.
Oh yeah. I see, because it needs the signatures. So you need the signature of the person to do the generation.
Or, I mean, we could update the contract to auto-generate neighbors, but then the issue just becomes it's impossible to have empty neighbors intentionally, which might be like if people only want to go left or right because that's the way that they're playing it, then we would automatically be minting north and south. So it would take that element of choice away from them.
The only choice they would have would be to not send the coin somewhere.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we get one sort of fewer or less like UI state.
Mechanic.
Yeah, and UI state, because like unclaimed right now is basically like it's not the best word, but what it's saying is that there is a coin that's been generated for this that nobody has claimed yet, and then a pure white tile might exist next to a fill tile, and what that says is that nobody even generated the coin yet, so that person may
I was
intentionally
wondering.
be leaving that
Okay.
space blank.
Got it.
Yeah, I like the way it works now.
Yeah.
I think it's good. The question I had basically is, you press the button on the like golden space and it just dumps you into a screen that gives you the generation process. You don't need to do a secondary process or anything. This is just quibbling. I mean, it's not too important. I think that like you're generating a coin there effectively. Like you need to know that a coin is being generated and that coin is imbued with something. And then when you hand it out, like it is a live, like whoever holds this coin gets the tile. So like know what you're doing. So we need to dress that up a little bit for first time users. As soon as they feel this, like there is a felt sense like we all had really quickly. Coins they do this, you put them there. That's how it works. Like, you know, I think people pick it up really quickly. It's just that sort of first time we're trying to make it so that that doesn't bungle.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the model we have now is fine.
if that's a concern, like the first time bungle, I think just a really, like some of the stuff we did with Ponder, Dave, I don't know what this is called, but just doing like a screen share of like someone doing the process, because it's pretty quick. You can watch, it's like a GIF somewhere, like
animated
here's
thing.
how it works.
Yeah, it'll be simple to get that down to
Really, like,
fill tile, generate
Yeah.
coin, send
I mean,
friend.
it could take like,
Like,
10
yeah.
seconds or something, like enough, like people's, I need to eat because my brain is failing me. People's like attention span, they'll be like, okay, that's doable. And it's
Yeah,
pretty obvious once you grok it, like you're just like, got it.
Yeah, I'm not really too worried about this one.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you pop it open, it generates a coin. You have the coin. If you choose not to use that coin in that state, I don't know that, like, if you close out of it, like the coin is still, it's in this nether state, right? There are two conditions there. Like, you can go grab that coin and give it away, right? Or it has been generated, and you can send it out as many times as you like until it's been claimed, which kills that state then. There's also the case that, like, when you have a neighbor and they fill in their tile and you fill in yours, you've got one next to you. As soon as that coin is generated, it is in that state that anybody can send that until somebody claims it. So, yeah, whatever that modal is that pops open once it's been filled and there's a viable coin there after it's been generated. I don't know if we have that state yet, but it's like
I think it just switches to unclaimed, but doesn't remind you
Okay.
that you can go and regenerate that coin. So that'd be good to add.
yeah, so persistent coin state effectively. I think that's the only thing missing there. And then as long as people know, like, I'm just thinking of the most non-technical person. They filled in their thing. They know that coins are supposed to show up. They saw it once. They can go back there and see it again. Like, there's only one place the coin can be. If it's not there, then it's gone. So somebody else is drawing on it or whatever. So
Yep.
we'll see. Okay. What else was there?
I got the editor, like UI for help or explaining tools and buttons. We've talked about that. Got that. Bullet sign in. That was all the stuff we got from just like the walkthrough kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bug on OpenSea that we should fix, but I think we can take a look at that on the updated contract.
I
Yep.
think the only other thing that I'm thinking about is the approach to doing this. It seems like a couple sync sessions might be nice. I don't know, because it feels like there's like all these like loose ends, and it doesn't have to be everyone at once, but yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of little things, and if you can chip away at some of them, it'll start like, because right now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, oh my God, it feels like a million little things, but yeah.
How these things go.
Well, and they're not
Yeah.
like in like neat little buckets yet, which is fine.
Yeah.
And it probably makes
Yeah.
more sense because it's part of this is because it's in code. So you are holding it in a shape that I can't see.
Well, I mean, for the record, as somebody who sees the shape of the code, the doc is like not totally aligned with that either, because the doc has some like UX things and like some code things and some like very abstract, just like questions. So it's good as like a dumping grounds, but it's going to be very hard to use it as like actual state to synchronize with each other for sure, because that's not what it was really meant for. Anyway, so I do like the sync session idea. For sure. I think that would let us like kind of probably during it also branch out a little bit, but like also know where each person is like branching out to, kind of like, like we did in person, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be on that file for a bit. I'm full-time this week, but I don't mind missing the first one, but I'm down to do it Saturday. I think it's reasonable. I think we'll be driving Sunday and various days next week. Also evenings could work reasonably okay, but I think Thursday we have a thing here, so
Yep.
maybe Friday evening if you guys want.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think-
I'm gone until Sunday, so
From when?
from
Tomorrow?
tomorrow till Sunday.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, feel free to do things without me. I can catch up. I'll always read through like commit history and whatever's going on in the Discord.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I think we have like a couple waves here and passes that we need to do. So, and then Kristen and I are on the road pretty much all next week. So, we'll be able to dip in and out, but we're driving a lot. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
like I think
Oh,
this starts to create a natural timing here because we need to be around to launch it. So, and then the week after, what's our deal? We're in
Yeah,
Chicago
we're
over the
landing in
next weekend.
Chicago on Friday, next Friday. And we're there for the weekend through, yeah, so like
We'll have stable.
second,
we'll be able
third,
to-
fourth, yeah, we can focus up.
Do whatever we need to do there, and then we're on the road again, and then yeah, so
And then we're at a wedding.
then we're at a wedding. So yeah, I don't know, like it's a tight on the focus thing over the next couple of weeks, so it may make sense to sort of launch this thing when we're in New York so that we could like be full on it, but that's a ways off. I don't know, I mean,
See how things go and how we feel.
yeah.
I think for
I don't-
now, like for Dave and I, like we can try to get as much of the UI stuff just knocked out before we hit the road, and then we can definitely work on lore stuff and like landing page, like that sort
Yeah.
of thing. It's like when we're driving, we can talk about it, scaffold it. It's not like a heavy lift
Yeah.
technically to get those things on the page. So and like little tidy em ups for UI stuff and whatnot, and like I don't know if
New York
anything else
is
going on.
2 weeks out, 2.5.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, like
I
the
think
15th.
reasonably that's
Well,
the quickest we could have this like polished.
Good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we had talked about like going faster, so I'm just making sure
I
we're
mean,
not the
to
like,
do it like we're adding in a ton of like really cool stuff here to have, as opposed to like
Yeah.
the scrappiest version of it possible.
Yeah.
sure,
yeah.
sure.
And then there's like the registry. There's still a few things that we haven't
Okay,
even included in here, so it'll take some time.
cool.
okay.
Yeah, and hopefully some of it can do like async as well.
I think so. I mean, I think especially after our first maybe sync session, it'll be
Yeah.
clear the little chunks that can be done in async, and I think those will be ones that I can like knock out in the evenings and stuff. So
That's
that's,
my sense too. I don't know why things feel like there's like a million little things, but it's just an
There
ebb and
are.
flow.
There are.
Yeah.
It's just how this is. Yeah.
I guess
We're
we
in
were
that
all
phase.
we were all
Oh, this is-
together, and it just worked out well that all the little things we just kept chipping away at them, and that
well, it's because
felt
it
like
did a
we
lot
had
of
our
big
arms
things.
around it.
Yeah, I think first of all we were focusing on mainly big things, but when small things
Yeah.
did come up, it was so easy to just be like, "Is this thing
Bang
good?
them out.
Oh,
Yep.
great, it's in."
Yep.
And
Yep.
the easier we can replicate that over async remote, I mean, the better. That is the dream. The other thing that I'm trying to keep in mind is that game studios are like notoriously just like chaos hell engines, because usually they're also dealing with like a whole new engine that they wrote and like art that was made for like the wrong specification. And so,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, we're like literally a game studio at this point. So it does make sense that Google Docs does not feel quite like like a fitting-
What's that game that you were saying, John, has been like
Yeah, so
announcing
I
that
think
they're
it's-
releasing for 20 years, and then they shipped basically a fancy project management like front end
Yes,
of
Star
what's
Citizen.
left to do.
Yep, they're about $300 million in and nothing shipped, but they've got a very fancy progress tracker online. I will drop the
That's
link.
Which is
It's
so
great.
ridiculous. So we'll avoid
Yeah,
that.
there was another one of those that was like the Last Guardian. It finally came out and it was like decent, but it was like a decade in the making.
Oh no.
And they shipped it. They finally got it done. So yeah.
Nice.
Good for them. Yep.
Yeah, I think the model that I think we're working with here is that we like to play the thing that we're making.
Mhm.
So we naturally dog food it, and like it'll start filling itself in. I like to do this with the software I build anyway. Like, oh, let's try this, and how does that work? And we'll run into all the frictions. Hopefully, that we'll be able to find all of them.
Yeah.
And in the process of continuing to play with each other, we'll pop up the little stuff that we want to do, and then hopefully we can just get together, knock that out real quick, do the async thing. The tossing back and forth stuff has been working. Like, I have a ton of stuff to do because you guys dummied in all these states, which gives me the like footing to do all that. That like I'll do a pass, and then that might like open up some other, you know. So I don't know. I think generally just we've got the shape of it. It's just finding time to do it all. Because yeah, the little stuff the little stuff is really fun too, like because it starts filling in and filling in. Yeah, and if we keep drawing, I think we're just gonna draw all our own lore. I mean, it'll just we keep doing games, and then because we've got Lizard Guy, he's a perfect icon, you know, King Sea Worm or whatever. It's good.
I saw the Discord sticker. That was very, very cute.
Yeah.
I love the
something
Discord sticker.
we should do maybe on the call is plant another seed, maybe in a different corner, because then that way we'll start tweaking our UI to make sure we capture the full state too, instead of
Good.
Yeah, it's funny how like the X0, Y0 spawn coordinate like very much changes gameplay. Like it's just, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, getting a couple other directions of spread will be nice.
Yep. CJ, do you know what's going on with Y5, X5? Did you?
I have it.
You have it, but you haven't drawn it, right? Like, basically, that's not a normal state for a tile, if I understand.
I spawned a seed for myself because I was
it was a seed that you claimed. Got it.
Yeah, it was a seed because I needed something for testing and I didn't have anything open, and then I was like, oh crap, I need to grab something that was open, and then I realized I had generated coins, and I was like, oh god,
got it.
Because I drew on my last tile, and I was like, oh shit, I can't test it anymore.
Yeah,
got it.
So John, that is it's the same state as 1-2 or 2-2 or 5-2, where it's basically somebody has owned claimed it, so they own it, but they've not yet filled it out.
Yep, that makes sense.
So for that,
Also, there's some really weird memory overflow on this. I don't know where it's happening, but like if I leave the page running for forever, it just like destroys my computer.
Really?
I don't know if anyone else is getting that or if it's just my computer is totally
just because the art is too good, it can't even handle it.
Yes.
It's too much fun in one page. Computer's like losing it.
And for async stuff, should we get like a second doc or another page in here for like turning these into more like technical like tasks to knock out, and then we can assign ourselves, or if there's
that's
like
where I was wondering
mutual interest, we could
Probably.
set a time or something.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like before, like I plan to be doing this, but if you want to join, that's a good question. I was wondering if Google Docs is the right thing for that versus like a slightly more formal issue tracker, but that might be overkill. Like, God, I wish we could just have something in between those. Maybe Notion kind of could work here, but it's kind of heavy.
Slow, yeah.
I mean, they've supposedly like shipped a bunch of performance improvements. I haven't tried them yet, but I did see they said they like cut down their JavaScript size like tremendously. Yeah. At any rate, maybe we could
Just
start
stuff I
as
don't know.
separate.
Yeah,
I'm fine doing anything.
Just wherever, tell me where to go.
Yeah, I think we'll maybe drop in a link to create.
How complex is this? Like the little pieces, like how closely, this is kind of a John question, like how much would you want this organized in like a traditional like pipeline? Like what's your, how do you,
I think not.
I'm just curious.
I feel like it would be fine to leave most of this as a Google Doc, because usually when you want things more formalized, it also involves somebody like drawing out the formal description and definition of how these things are implemented, We don't have that
Yeah.
because we're basically gonna be figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
So like a more lightweight free write like page, just a separate page from this one maybe makes sense. Or even a section on this page where, yeah, it's really like we've taken it from this big pile and just said, I'm like this
Okay.
chunk of work I'm planning to do. Does
Like
anybody else
bubble
wanna
it
do
up,
with me?
maybe, like it's towards the
Mhm.
top. Yep.
Yep. So maybe kind of call it more like I'm adding
It
a
is so weird. It's like everything is always, everything that
yeah.
I want or we want is like in between. So,
Yeah.
because it would be nice to be able to pull like arrows from all of these things, more canvas model, and be like, these three things are getting bubbled
Totally.
into this like task, and people can then see the lineage and like they're like, okay, that's why he's doing that one thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Not
It's all
Absolutely.
the relational stuff again.
yeah, without belaboring the point of like the process of like and like structure of it. It's just like it's just because it was written there and I'm doing this here and that influenced this.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's just like these things came together. Don't need to make a whole pipeline and structure it because it always wants to break out of the pipeline.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I'm imagining these issues look like. Right. So I'm basically saying I'm going to do a thing roughly here, roughly at this time, and then it's going to involve a new component, blah blah blah, like the little subcomponents of the task. I guess to do could be changed to doing it when we're doing it, if this is kind of kept as like a live coordination thing. That's
I'll
just what
try.
I'm imagining. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
give it a go. I don't.
Yeah, I'll
this
try
is-
as well. I think it's mostly going to be like I am working on this now.
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
same thing. And then I've
That's okay.
Yeah,
14 other things. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay, so something in like a time-based thing, like it could be just like I'm gonna be around at this time doing
Mhm.
stuff, and then
Yep.
it might be and then we get the stuff sort of coordinated as we can or when we're around each other, like because I'm gonna need to do a bunch of CSS stuff. I'll just be around, and maybe I don't know how much we can schedule this stuff or whatever. But yeah, like trying to coordinate being in the same place at the same time at some times, whether not
much.
without having that be like a standing meeting or anything.
Yeah.
Because then we can do coordination. But yeah, I don't know. This is my preference for just being around each other.
Well, there could be another thing where use the doc. I mean, if you need, but then in the builders channel and Discord, you're just like, I'm working
Totally.
on this right now.
Which
Definitely.
we've been decent at, yeah.
Yeah. But the doc can sort of like, we can come back to it and like maybe that's something that John and I hope just
Yeah.
keep,
Mm-hmm.
like just as have we done this yet? And then, oh, we forgot about that. Whatever.
Yep.
I mean, that is
That's
helpful,
that's usually what I use my notes for, like, because I understand it in this way and it helps me like see it. And then when we start talking about stuff, I'm like, did we cover this? Yeah, we covered this. We didn't cover that. Like, I sent a
try all the things.
screenshot of tiramisu to my family and my sister's 2-year-old likes it. So she must have opened it up
Awesome.
and he was like, what is that? Like, can I have that?
We're popular
I mean,
kids.
This is a very good sign. If kids
I was
like it, we're doing something all right because they need to take care of us when we're old. So we have to keep them happy.
Yeah.
I want to know what he did. I'm like, what did he say? Did he like
Yeah.
say something? Did he do something? Was he just
Yeah.
like excited?
I like that. That's good feedback.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
can actually. I bet you we could get him when we're together in Christmas to draw a tile, because he'll pick up on like that,
Super
like
cute.
with an iPad. He'll be like, I can do that. Oh, okay.
I mean,
That'd be
yeah,
right.
we could have a
This is
whole
where-
kids canvas.
And this is where if you had like the meta description that you could add in, like Ford, age 2 years old, like, and people are
This I
"What?"
like. I like kids canvas, and I hope kids
Yeah.
canvas makes like 1,000 ETH.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, and then
My
we can
sister
buy
would
an
be like,
orphanage.
wait, Ford got $2,000 because he drew that thing? Yeah, he got $2,000. It's famous.
He's gonna give it to the trustees, and
Yeah.
we'll steward that for him.
Invested in
I
high
do like the
leverage.
kids canvas though.
Defense.
'Cause it'd be good to have a kids canvas. They draw some crazy shit, and then you get like this pattern is always fun. You get an artist or a bunch of artists to like make a high res version
Bring
of
it to
whatever the
life a
kids
little
draw.
more. Yeah.
Every
And the
time this
kids
thing
are
is
just
great.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the thing that your friend Jamie has the draw this. What is it called? Draw something. No, what's it called? Where the kids get to draw on an outline of clothing, and then they
Yeah.
print the drawing on the clothing. So like dresses, pants,
Yeah.
shirts, and the kids apparently lose their ever-loving mind because they're like, I drew it, now I'm wearing it, and they like can't get over it. Like they get the most fan mail. Everyone's just like so psyched. Like you could get like mother-daughter like matching. It's wild. It's very strange but lovely.
I'm down for exquisite land apparel. That sounds fun.
All right, now we're getting somewhere. We're a
Hey,
fashion
you can
brand,
use-
fashion house.
These are comfy.
Oh, the unisocks. We already have a model.
For real. Exquisite apparel.
Exquisite
Exquisite apparel. I mean, that's not a bad name.
True.
Maybe this will be
EA
Farzad's foray into actually designing clothes like he wants to.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Printed on silk. It's only silk. Ties. Gifts for dads. All right.
Can we have a dad
okay.
canvas? Sorry.
Yeah, all dads.
Dads only.
Dads. Dads only. I really like Terra dads only.
It'd
It's
be
like the
just
tie
fishing
guys.
poles
Me and my
for
tie
sure.
guys will tag that canvas. Okay.
Yeah. Got the tie guys, you got the dads
Tiramisu
canvas.
dads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a support group for
The lady
dads who
the
are
lady
addicted to
apes.
pixels. Yep, lady apes. We got them all covered.
I'm an ape lady. Lady ape? I don't know. I'm one of 12. Okay.
Yeah, we can have Amazon Island, but it can't be not Amazon, that Amazon, the other Amazons, Amazonians. Or we'll just do a brand sponsorship with Amazon. That came up with the internet camera thing. The object is a Pepsi. Can of Pepsi.
That would work.
That'll be $1 billion, Pepsi.
What is
Yeah.
CJ's icon? Anonymous axolotl?
Axolotl.
Axolotl? What is that?
Oh,
They're
they
really
have these
weird.
in Mexico City. They're like
Yeah, they're cute.
they're like these little salamanders that like cannot die, so people ground them up
And
and
then
put them on their skin, and now they're
What?
like endangered.
Sounds
Because they
exactly
have
right.
like
Axolotl.
I
yeah.
feel like they do braid research on them. That's why. Or she actually just
Like a
loves
walking
them. I don't
fish.
know.
My buddy
Oh.
Barber Dave in St. George has one.
I feel like
Oh,
we've
yeah. These
seen,
things are crazy.
or those were just nukes and
They have the
Oakland.
like
Yeah,
bronze.
these specifically have these little like they're so
Yeah.
adorable. They're like
They look like a little emoji.
Like they're smiling.
I want to draw one now.
Can you legally own one? They are legal to own in some states.
Probably Utah, because either that or he smuggled it in and I just narked him out.
California, Maine, New Jersey, and Virginia. In New Mexico, they're illegal to own, but illegal to import from other states. There's a whole market for these things.
Yeah.
People like exotic pets. Oh yeah, Scott just said the overflow div thing. Got it.
Also, Scott replied to the Space Industries Star Citizen tracker, and he's like, "That's one of their core products."
Wait, what?
The link to Star Citizen, the issue tracker. He's like, "That's one of their core products."
Yeah, literally. This is a
become
video
that.
game that can't ship games, but can ship a tracker. It's like the craziest tracker too. It's very beautiful.
It's absurd. It's just yeah.
I mean, isn't it fun? Like the people doing this, like you're
Just
building a
making money.
game and then all of a sudden, also I'm not on mobile and a gigantic modal popped up that was like the mobile
Yeah.
experience is not optimized. Okay, I can read. It's
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically LARPing as like they're like project managers in space. Like, it's fine. Project managers should be able to make a game too. The game is called Endless Project Management. Whoever project manages the longest wins.
God.
Takes $300 million to make something that fancy.
Well, it was updated today, so in theory, it's pretty
See?
up to date.
It's a live game.
Hmm.
It's probably like 10 people playing it. Or I mean, who knows how many people it takes to fill out something that complex. Waterfalling, Gantt charting all day.
Yeah,
Full-time Gantt chart simulator.
I have like things planned out for months. This is just wild.
I mean, there are games like this. Like there are a bunch of like supply chain management games. That factory game, you're basically just building factories. You know.
Yeah, but at least that one doesn't pretend to like be giving you something. This one is like
It actually
there's-
does give you something.
I
The fun of play. Yeah.
suppose so.
Well, maybe that's how we'll create our own. Like we have to create a
Startup.
game to get us organized to create the games. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have some lore. All right. What else should we go over? We got to figure out when we're gonna meet up next.
Yeah, I think that's the big one.
So CJ, you're gone for a little bit, then we're on the road next. I mean, we should probably do one over the weekend or somewhere in here.
Yep.
So
Maybe
tomorrow's
Saturday
out.
morning.
Sure,
Works for me.
that works, Kristen.
Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. Let's say like 9:30.
Sure.
How's it build? Cool.
Yeah, and then in the meanwhile, just keep using Discord if that works for folks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Yeah, I'll probably I hope to get into some of the CSS stuff tomorrow. Start throwing things in the main channel and then getting feedback that way. And then if there's any structural stuff, I'll point it out, I guess.
Cool.
Good deal. It's nap time, I guess.
It's always nap time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, overflow hidden worked.
Get it?
Nice.
Nice.
Well, not
Cool.
on the element that I expected, but it did work.
That's how that goes.
I just
Was it
kept
on
on
inner element?
outer.
Yeah, outer, and then the stuff inner. So the outer then is masked. So the stuff moving inside of it, you don't see the outside. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's like
So
a
it doesn't
portal.
even matter on the like inside elements. I don't have to do overflow hidden there. It's just the outer one, and it just says
The inside
now
elements,
this shape
like,
is what matters.
yeah, they're inheriting
Sweet.
the outside, like, yeah, it's a portal effectively.
A portal.
A portal.
We like portals.
We're gonna make our own portals at some point. Tiles as portals.
Tiles are portal.
Definitely.
How do people like spend time in multiple Discords? Like actually, like
I don't know.
it's just a lot.
No idea.
They're sociopaths. The only answer. I don't know. Some people can split their attention, and they like to. You can move through the things. Like, what's up? How's it going? I'm over here. What's up? How's it going? What's up? You could be in like 15 conversations. It's possible. You have to have dedication. You have to love yourself, etc.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Alrighty then.
Next.
I don't know
steps
what else
seem
there is.
Reasonably clear.
Yep.
Oh,
Got a Saturday morning meetup, and then we'll go from there. Cool.
sweet.
All right, everybody. Thumbs up and see ya
So
Take care.
later.
Peace.
Bye.